long distance relationships. Can we do that? Can we make it work? Thank you so much for joining us today on Second Act TV. Once again, I want to welcome back Joni Caldwell Lerner, the life coach, dating coach, my good friend, and the host of Wake Up with Joni. Joni, thanks so much for being here again.
Well, I appreciate it. And I have to tell you, when you call me and you say, "Do you have time? Would you mind?" I'm like, "Yeah." We'll do it anytime, Silka.
Today's topic, this is a good one, I think, and that is long distance relationships. Can we do that? Can we make it work?
First of all, I can't how many of my clients have come to me and said, "I live in a tiny town," or they live in 8 million people and they can't meet anyone. And they're connecting with people at several states away. And can I do this? Yes. The answer is yes.
Why not do that, until you can figure out how to be together?
Yes,
or
that
not, or end it. The technology now does allow us to do this. We've never had this before. So let's talk about some of the tips to actually make a long distance relationship work. And the first one here is that you really have to pick up the phone and talk, and do that in the morning and at night.
Well, I think it's a great suggestion. And I think, though, it's important to create agreement between the partners. So some people want to talk or text 6 or 8 times throughout the day. Some people, that's too much. So I absolutely believe in either text or a call in the morning, and probably a call at night to say goodnight. And I love you and I miss you.
Point 2 here, they said that, meet in person regularly. By regularly, ideally once a month is what they're suggesting, and always have your next outing planned. Why is that important?
Oh, it's critical. We talk about this, or I have said this. One has to have a compelling future, a compelling life. If you know that you have something planned, then there's something to look forward to. You know it's coming, and it's much easier to get through the rougher times.
I'm one. I have to have something to look forward to in real life too.
Yes.
So that is a good way. Yeah. And that anticipation, that's in some ways, that's half the fun. And again, I'm talking very positively about this, because I do think it's a great idea for some people if you don't have another option, or like what you said, you're far away. This is something that with the right mindset, you can make it work if both people are in the same place. One of the things they say here, and I thought this was interesting, is that you want to visit each other in the place where you live. Like,
yes.
Yeah. Like you maybe meet in between, maybe do something fun, but do get a feeling for the everyday life of each other.
Yes, absolutely. Because at some point you may choose to live, and you may not. Living apart, that living apart thing that is going on. 3.8 million married people aren't living together, and they're happy. Yeah. So I totally agree. And you get to see them in their natural, with their friends. And you were talking about something to look forward to. I look forward to pickleball. It's huge. Multi-country trip. Yes. It could be something small. It could be planning a fishing trip.
Yeah, no, so exactly. Something that you share, that you value, you have that anticipation of having something to look forward to, something fun, something to share. So, well, here's one that is a little bit more difficult perhaps, but it's ask about each other's feelings. The men especially love this, and always be prepared to schedule an emergency visit if you feel like something, is being disconnected.
Listen, I can't tell you how many times I have heard the male partner in the relationship say, "I had no idea she was unhappy." I had no idea she was unhappy. Now, is that because she wasn't communicating? Is that because he wasn't asking? Is that because they didn't have that agreement in terms of what they talk about, the level of what they talk about? I will tell you, male or female, speak up.
Yeah.
Here's what I need from you.
Well, and that's even more important, I think, if you really, again, want to make this work or eventually be with this person, that yeah, you have to be able to be vulnerable. Again, that word that so many people don't like.
Love.
Yeah.
They love it. They love vulnerability.
Well, because it's so misunderstood. We have lots of
Well,
explanations about that. Yeah.
yeah, and we've talked about it. It just means wholehearted. Just be wholehearted. Come from your heart.
Right. Exactly.
We all have one of those.
Surprise one another with gifts. That's, you know what, that's a great advice even for anybody. Is just out of the blue, just something that you know that she would like this, he would like this. That just feels so good when you get that, doesn't it?
I absolutely. And what I love about this now with Amazon, can I say Amazon?
Sure.
It doesn't have to be expensive. If you got
Right.
Prime, there's no delivery fee. It could be a little something that she mentioned or he mentioned. Gosh, my ski socks are wearing out. A $20 pair of ski socks come, and what she's saying is, I listen to you, I hear you, I care about you, and here's some evidence that make you smile.
Yeah.
So it doesn't have to be a diamond ring.
No, exactly. It's the little, and sometimes the little things like that means so much more, to me anyway. And what is the suggestion was, like, if he's sick or she's sick, have Uber or whatever, wherever they are, send over some chicken soup.
I love that.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that make you feel great? Then here, I love this. And you and I had a whole segment on this. Don't be afraid to sext. Sexting for seniors, and or get romantic over FaceTime. Let's talk about that for a minute.
So with FaceTime, that's a very interesting topic. But if you, I'm not going to feel romantic if you randomly FaceTime me, and I won't answer.
Right.
If you randomly FaceTime me, we have a friend who just FaceTimes all the time. We just don't answer. So now he texts first and says, hey, can I FaceTime? That's just a friend. Let alone if I'm just beginning to date somebody, I don't want to be, scrubbing my floors and get a FaceTime. So make a date, get spruced up. Don't stare at yourself in the little, thing over there. But absolutely, I love texting. I'm very clever at texting. So I really appreciate a clever repartee, a banter or badinage, whatever you want to call it. I love that. Now, some people just don't. They're not good on text.
I love that whole segment we did on sexting. I'll link to it. Senior sexting was actually in AARP magazine.
Yes.
And it is a great way to have fun, and it's not just for the young people. So we'll link to that.
Heads up, make sure you're texting the right person. Okay, go ahead. Heads up.
That was one of the tips. Exactly.
Huge.
This is important too, to prioritize each other, and that if something feels off, we just have talked about that. Talk about it, even if that means, is there someone else?
Yes. Talk about everything. Now we're back to communication again. Here's the thing. People don't communicate because they're afraid of what the answer would be. I would rather know up front, cut my losses, and move on. If he's not interested anymore, and he's found someone local, God bless him. Good for him. If we're not at that level of monogamy or absolute relationship where we're going to spend the rest of our lives together, it would be less painful. But if we were at that place, that would be really painful. But I want to know. I would want to know, and I would tell. I would also speak my truth too.
Yeah, and that's something that that's the smart thing. You want to know. I can honestly say I don't want to know. Yes, do I want to know? Sure, I want to know, but I absolutely get not wanting to go in that direction and to hear what you don't want to hear. I think a lot of people feel like that. It's not the right thing. I'm not saying the right thing, but I just want to acknowledge.
No, but it's the honest thing. That's why I love you. You're so real, and that's why your viewers love you. So continue to speak the truth.
Well, that's communication. Yeah, and obviously when I've done that, it ended up being, it's I mean, if there's something wrong, you might as well know, because it's gonna not work out, not
Yeah, it
likely
down the
anyway.
line.
Then here, this is good too. Self-reflect. Be aware of what you need most, that you really,
Mm.
if you're going to agree to this or agree to participate, that you really understand what you want out of it.
Well, I think if you really have a connection with this person and you want to give it a shot, the best thing is to upfront say, if you've never done a long distance relationship before, I've never done this before. I know there are a few things that I'm going to need from you. So I'd love to have that conversation, and I'd love to hear what you need from me. This is a new thing for me. And so we're going to learn as we go. But are you willing to have that conversation? Yes. Okay, great. I need to hear from you every day. It could just be a call or a text, and it doesn't have to be a long thing. I know you still work, or you're whatever it is.
Right. No, that's one thing I have a problem with, because it is important, and it's so easy to communicate that, and it's so easy, unless you just, your expectations are ridiculous, for someone to follow, especially a man who needs everything, written up. I know putting men down, but that's what they always say. Tell me what you want so I don't have to guess. So
what I've noticed, and this was true of me when I was younger, I expected the man to read my mind. Like, how could he possibly know what a woman's thinking in her brain? Because he doesn't have a woman's brain. So it took me a long, long time to ask for what I want. And this goes into sex as well. Ask for what you want. Say, nah, that's not the spot. Go over there. The guy will be going, yes, because that'll make him a great lover. Speak.
Yeah, we've done actually, well, you and I have talked about that a lot. We might have actually done a segment on it, that women do expect men to read their minds, and innocently so sometimes, because again, I put myself in that category, that, well, he should know, or, well, if it doesn't mean
really loved me,
he really loved me,
he'd send me the fun. Some people are not gift givers.
Right.
Some people are not touchy feely. They don't have, they have a different love language.
Yes.
So that's got to be negotiated too.
Right.
The 5 love languages, guys, and girls, go out and do that quiz if you haven't already.
Yeah, great advice. And then just, in closing, cherish the moments I mean, again, that sounds kind of obvious.
Okay.
But it's true. We never really cherish the moments when they're happening. That's good for IRL relationships as well as anything long distance.
Yes, absolutely. And I wanted to, if I may, share just a few to-do things or doing this things that people can do to cherish the moment. It mentioned in that article, make a vision board together. You'll really get to know the other person to see what their vision is for their lives. You could see, get your magazine out, cut all the paper, be on FaceTime at the same time. Be in the kitchen. Just share. What are you laughing at? Share a recipe.
If I told Paul we're going to make a vision board, get the magazines out, he would absolutely die. I can't even imagine it.
But let's say you were long distance. Okay, and you have a great recipe. He gets the recipe. You get the recipe. You guys go get the ingredients. You've got your face. Yeah, you got the FaceTime on. You're doing and how do you whatever it is, you're parallel playing, and a lot of the younger people do that.
Yeah.
So then you're together. It's almost like you're you could sit with, we did this with my sister during COVID. We watched the Super Bowl. She was on a big FaceTime, and it was just me, John, and Lori, and we were all watching this, and we're like screaming and we were parallel playing. So there are many things that you can do to connect.
That's funny that you mentioned that, because 12 years ago, when Paul and I first started dating, that was actually a suggestion he had. We had the same, not the same team, but I loved basketball, was the playoffs and blah, 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 blah. Anyway, he suggested we watch the basketball game on Skype. It was like, I mean, I can't imagine him doing that now, but that was fun. So it does.
Yes.
In the beginning. And the reason I say it's long distance, because I was still in Texas then. So we started off as a long distance couple.
Well, and let's say he likes to read a book and she likes to paint. Put the camera there and she's painting and he's reading the book, and it's like you're together. I mean, it seems like a no-brainer.
Especially in the beginning, when you're excited about each other, when you really want to, I think maybe you'll do a vision board. knows? He might have done. I got him to play charades, but that's another story.
We
Anyway,
digress.
Joni, we're coming to the end here. Again, I thought this was such an interesting and important topic because, loneliness is like a killer, literally a killer in the world. They have stats that it's worse than smoking 10 packs of cigarettes a day. And we have the technology now to establish relationships all over the world. So, why not? I'll let you close.
Well, I would say, yes, absolutely. About if you're feeling lonely, there are two things that you can do. One is, and it sounds like a vision board to people out there, but yourself. What do you want? What brings you joy? I mentioned earlier, I love to hike. I do the things that I love. And I don't feel lonely, even if I'm alone. And then I'm a relationship person. So I'm willing to, and I live in a very tiny town, teeny tiny. And I was thinking about this. If I were dating now, how would that go? I don't know. I don't know.
This really applies to that.
Yes. Be willing to go outside the little pond. Or there might be a gem in the little pond, but keep your eyes open.
Exactly. Yes. Keep your eyes open. I love talking with you. Thank you for all the great advice. I will link to all of your information. If you want to coach with Joni, be sure to give her a call. We'll have the link in our show notes, as well as to your fabulous podcast, Wake Up with Joni. And I look forward to talking with you again soon on Second Act TV.
Me too. Thank you.